What's up, people? Y'all already know who it is. I do this all day, every day. Back on my reaction channel, man. It's the GOAT. Subscribe to my channel. Hopefully, y'all like my videos. I'm gonna watch the video just like y'all. I'm gonna see, if I like it, what they saying. If I don't, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Let's check it out. Let's check it out.
Preseason appearance, connecting on 7 of his 8 passes for 106 yards and a touchdown pass to Des Bryant. The same cannot be said for backup Kellen Moore, who completed half of his passes for the second straight game. More struggles have reportedly raised concerns in the Cowboys front office. Skip, how should the Cowboys fix this?
By the way, Kellen Moore, I'm sorry, I'm a fan, but he's just been a flat-out disaster. First play of the night the other night, it's just like the ball just gets taken away from him. I really liked him at Boise State. I have never liked him as the backup quarterback for my Dallas Cowboys. Now, on to how to fix this. I would love to see my Cowboys sign, dare I say, Colin Kaepernick.
Get the fuck out of here.
In fact, the more I think about it, the more I thought about it just before this show started, the more I think this situation, this predicament screams for Colin Kaepernick.
Stop trolling, Skip.
This would be the best fit for Colin Kaepernick in the entire National Football League for several reasons. An even better fit than he would have been in Seattle, where I think he would have been some threat. Management thought.
Man, Stevie Wonder got a better chance of being an Uber
whose
driver.
Whose defense, the other side of the ball, has never been quite completely sold on Russell Wilson. So that's why I think they finally said no. And in this case, the Cowboys with Dak Prescott, they've already got some read option plays in their arsenal.
Correct.
They do it. They run them some in the game. So skill sets are pretty similar.
Skip.
I like Colin throwing out of the pocket. He's not been the most accurate passer. I don't think he's quite as accurate as Dak has shown so far.
No, he's not.
But he's got a big arm.
I don't mean to stop the video. Let's be real. They're not gonna sign him, man. It's not about the numbers. They fucking signed Jay Cutler got signed. People talking about, oh, it's about the numbers. How many times did Jay Cutler make the playoffs? Do you ever make the Super Bowl? All right.
He can run this offense. I think he could step right into it tomorrow and get it pretty quickly, pick it up pretty quickly. And they have backs very experienced in read option plays. Alfred Morris, that first year in Washington, he had 1,600 plus yards. He was just 18 yards short of what Zeke had leading the league last year with RG3 running the spread option, right?
Yep.
And we know what Zeke did at Ohio State with Cardale Jones, what he did to Alabama. There was some read option going on there, right?
J.T. Barrett.
And J.T. Barrett. So I like that fit, and I also like the culture fit. I've always said this about the Cowboy culture. It absorbs big personalities and big issues better than any culture in the National Football League because, number one, the owner is the superstar of this team, right? And nobody's going to have the star power, the eclipse power that Jerry Jones. He eclipses everything, right?
Yep.
And then, as you know, you got Dak over here in one corner of the locker room, and then there's Zeke, and then there's Jason Witten, and now there's Jalen Smith on defense. And it's like you go into a multiplex of theaters, and you can just pick a theater every day because there's going to be a bigger story here, or maybe here.
Correct.
So Colin wouldn't be quite the focal point to start with, which I think could be a good thing for all involved, if he was a Dallas Cowboy. Even Greg Hardy, as much as I said no to Greg Hardy, at least he sort of got fitted in, like he got assimilated pretty quickly into the culture. Now, for the obvious negatives that should not be negatives. What did Jerry Jones say during the Hall of Fame weekend? You were there. At halftime of the, Thursday night Hall of Fame game, Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Jerry Jones in the booth at halftime, and they kept him over because he was so good and such a big personality, the star of the weekend. They kept him into the third quarter. What did he say? His biggest disappointment, he said this on national TV, as the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, is that he did not get Tony Romo to a Super Bowl. So to me, if there were what you call catastrophic injury, I got to knock on wood to Dak Prescott. If there was serious injury suffered early in the season, you know and I know who Jerry thinks the quote-unquote backup quarterback is.
You going to call Tony from the booth?
He's going to call Tony. Call him down from the booth. Now, would
they had a
that's
chance
a whole nother
of
question.
Absolutely he'd have stepped. You know it too, Skip.
I don't know.
Skip.
It would depend how soon it was and how much he'd gotten his feet underneath him with Jim Nantz in the CBS #1 booth. That's a job that's hard to walk away from.
Let me ask you a question. if you're a professional athlete, would you rather have the #1 booth job or quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys?
It would depend what your self-vision was at that point in your career. Would you accept the fact that I can't stay healthy? That every time I've walked on the field, I've gotten hurt again?
Yeah.
Would you accept the fact that you've fallen out of shape?
What do you mean falling out of shape? Like he's ever fallen in shape?
Okay. All right. But to your point, we saw him try to be Maverick for a night, right? Basketball player.
Ooh.
Didn't look too good. Looked like a dad wearing one of those Maverick jerseys,
Kaepernick
right?
fans
Yeah.
ain't gonna be
Okay.
picking no.
All right. So
Kaepernick.
Jerry's contingency plan to me, Jerry seems fully content with Kellen Moore as his backup quarterback because he knows that plan B is really Tony Romo. That's what I think.
Yep.
Which brings us to Scott Linehan. He has this sort of unnatural obsession with Kellen Moore. And I get it because they both grew up in small town state of Washington. And Scott Linehan is sort of blind to a fault, to the faults of Kellen Moore, because Scott Linehan was, as our man Mark Schler says, they were teammates at Idaho, where he was the quarterback at Idaho, and whereas Boise State, it's in Idaho, so Kellen Moore, the quarterback at Boise State, where he was really good. So Scott Linehan, coordinator in Detroit, when they signed Kellen Moore as an undrafted free agent, so they've come up together all the way, and then they went to Dallas, quote unquote, together. So he's going to fight to the death for Kellen Moore. It's just not right because he's blind to what's happening before his very eyes. And that brings me to the backup quarterback, the third-string quarterback, Cooper Rush, who's been just sensational in the preseason. And Jerry stopped down in that interview I talked about on NBC to say, oh, boy, the game really slows down for this kid when he's on the field. He's not Colin Kaepernick. Kellen Moore is not Colin Kaepernick. I'm not sure Tony Romo right now could be Colin Kaepernick. I don't think he could be.
No.
So the point is, why wouldn't this just scream for you to do it? Well, maybe the owner would say no for various reasons, which you can delve into if you so choose. But I'm saying a big yes, and I'm hoping everybody could see their way clear to make this happen sooner than later.
They're not making it happen,
Colin Kaepernick
man.
would be an upgrade
Cowboy
over Kellen
fans
Moore.
ain't shit.
Kellen Moore is a 5'11", maybe 185,
Some of them racist as hell.
maybe soaking wet with a 5-pound weight in his pocket, 190 pounds. He not only
They list him at 2 something, but go ahead.
not even close.
I know.
And he doesn't have a big arm, and he's injury prone.
Yep.
And the team that should know best about
Let's be realistic. If you notice, most of the people don't want Kaepernick to join any NFL team, not because it got something to do with race. He's getting blackballed, and if you notice, I notice most of the comments is white people. It's white people. Clearly, no debate, and you can debate all you want. Is white people. They the ones that complain about it. Like I haven't seen too many black people in the comments say, "Oh well, you know I'm black and whatever." Stop it. So if you in the comments talking about, I doubt it.
not having an adequate backup should be who, Skip? The Cowboys. Remember what happened in 2010?
Do I?
Remember what happened in 2015? It almost happened again in 2016, but Dak Prescott came in and not only shown that he was a capable backup, he showed that he was the quarterback of the future, and the Cowboys could move on without Tony Romo.
Yep.
The last time we saw something like this happen, you know what year it was, Skip? 2001. There's a guy that came off the bench as a 6th-round draft pick in 2000. Starting quarterback got hurt, had a $100 million contract, Drew Bledsoe. Tom Brady comes in. Not only did he prove he was an adequate backup, well, you know, we can say bye-bye to you, Drew. And that's what they did.
Wait, did you just say Dak Prescott is Tom Brady?
Skip.
Wow.
See, you see
Yeah,
how
that's a nice thought.
You see how you leap to a conclusion.
some
Reaching,
potential, and
boy.
I
Skip
appreciate
be
you bringing
reaching,
that up.
boy.
All I'm trying to do is show the similarities.
It is.
That this doesn't happen very often.
Nope, it
There's
doesn't.
a 15, 16-year time gap between the last time we saw that and what we're seeing now. Skip, let's just say for the sake of argument, this 6-game suspension for Zeke stands pat. Knock on wood. I hope nothing happens to Dak. But if Dak misses a game or two, Skip, do you actually believe that Kellen Moore, even with that great offensive line and those running backs that ran for like a zillion yards on Saturday against the Colts?
We're going to talk about that with Eric Dickerson. Thank you for bringing that up also. Keep going.
Do you actually think Kellen Moore can keep this thing in the road?
I do not.
Skip, you saw what happened in 2015.
Yep.
He had a golden opportunity to show Jerry Jones, to show Scott Linehan,
did.
Jason Garrett, guys, if something would have happened to Tony Romo down the road, I got you.
That's correct.
What did he show him? Nothing, and he got hurt. And what makes it...
By the way, Kirk Cousins is now 1-4 against my Cowboys, and the one was against Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
You seem surprised by that, Skip.
I'm not surprised.
It's Skip, what makes it even worse is not only do they knew what they had, they re-signed him in the offseason after he broke his leg last year for $775,000. So they're seeing something that you and I can't see.
Scott Linehan loves him. He's a coach's kid. His father was his high school coach. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
You're just connected. You just think,
This
you
guy-
can figure it out.
Scott Linehan started Idaho? Because I remember John Deep Freeze. I played in a bowl game with John Freeze. Now, he was the starting quarterback. He was the second pick in second round to San Diego Chargers.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe Scott was, I don't know, maybe there's this connection between backups and backup. We got to stick together.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Maybe.
But you and I both know. First of all, Colin Kaepernick is better than maybe with the exception of Jimmy Garoppolo. I believe Colin Kaepernick is better than every other backup quarterback in the National Football League. I believe he's better than, let's just say, everybody on the Jets,
Damn.
the Bears.
Damn.
So there are a lot of teams. Hell, even my Broncos. Are you telling me
I
that
can make
Paxton
a
Lynch
case.
and Trevor Siemian are
I
better
can
than
make
you?
a case. I agree with you.
But here,
Fact.
And I already told you what I think of Baltimore.
Motherfuckers ain't looking
He's
at the
better
stats.
than
Oh, yeah.
anybody on the roster, and he might, to me, he's better and proven to be better than the starting quarterback, Joe Flacco. That's just me.
well, we
I can
know
show
he's
you.
1,000% better than Ryan Mallett.
Yep.
But Skip,
I'm from Baltimore. I think
it's
he
hard for me
kind
to
of. Joe
believe that
Flacco's
Jerry
okay. He
will
got his
sign
ring,
Cap.
but
Jerry was
I
the
don't know. He's
most
shaky,
outspoken
man.
owner when this anthem protest started last year. He says, "This is my stage, my building. You do it my way. Everybody will stand at attention."
There were several who were very outspoken, but you can make a case.
They got all
He was-
them
he was
criminal
probably the
players
most outspoken
on the
one.
Cowboys,
At
but they
attention.
won't give
Yep.
Kaepernick a job.
And everybody's
man.
like,
Come on,
Jerry
man.
loves to
Stop
win.
it.
Jerry does love to win, but Jerry loves to win his way. Because if Jerry didn't love to win his way, he would have never fired Jimmy Johnson after 2 straight Super Bowls. Because, that night in that bar when he said there's 500 coaches that could have won a Super Bowl with his team, Jimmy said there's 499 because I'm got to get up out of here.
And then Jerry hired number 501. Barry Switzer. But anyway, go ahead.
Exactly. And so that's the problem that I think they're up against, Skip, is that Kaepernick and Jerry, I think Jerry philosophically is not where Cap is not really what he wants. But is Cap better than Kellen Moore? Is Cap better than the guy they just took in the draft this year?
The motherfucker
Absolutely.
ain't Kellen
But I
Moore,
don't
man.
see how
Of
I don't
course.
see Jerry making this decision.
I seen him
Jerry
play.
Rush was just
Trash.
undrafted.
Skip, and I don't trust anybody with 2 last
Garbage.
names first. Cooper and Rush. That's the last. Yeah, your
They
last
all
name got to
these
be Cooper.
fucking
I kind of like
rapists
No, I don't
and
like
it. I kinda like it.
criminals.
I'd rather mom
and
had named the pass
all that stuff. And all these
Name
people,
him
they get a
Pass
second
Rush.
chance.
Oh,
But
come on.
Kaepernick,
Got
he's
star
taking knees the
quality
end
to
of the
him.
world,
Stop it.
man.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying he's going to be a star,
Stop
but
it.
he's been really good. But at Central Michigan, his record was 26-24.
Crazy,
I,
man.
I don't know. He's been playing with third teamers against third teamers and lighting it up.
Yeah.
Now
but-
what?
But Skip, what have they seen in practice? What have they seen on tape? What have they seen once they've gotten into games that makes them think if they really needed to? Dak was away for, let's just say he went on a sabbatical for 2 weeks. I'm not going to even speak the injury bug into existence. Let's just say he went on a mission for 2 to 3 weeks. Do you actually believe that Kellen Moore can keep this team afloat?
Hell
When
no.
he couldn't do it in 2015, he couldn't. What are they waiting for,
Hey,
Skip?
seriously, Colin Kaepernick could throw it harder underhand than Kellen can overhand.
Yeah.
That's how soft his arm is now. I'm like, what are you doing? What's happening? It looks like he's hurt all the time, like he's got an injured arm.
He couldn't throw a brick through a plate glass window.
Damn.
Skip. It seems like he is taking all he has to throw an out route. Everything nothing just like jumps out of his hand. Everything is just like he's rearing back like he's throwing the javelin. Maybe they
That
know
shit.
something we don't. Maybe
Come on,
it's Skip.
man. Get
The
this
thing is, when
fuck
the
outta
starter
here,
goes
man.
down, unless you have a defense that can take the ball away. Now, this is not what the Cowboys defense is. They're not a take the ball away type
got
of
a good
defense.
offense.
Give your offense a short field.
man.
They're a team that bends, that doesn't break. Normally, they know the team is going to be behind because they're going to grind it out. They're going to get the ball in the end zone, and they're going to force you to do what, Skip? Throw the football. So now they play that soft cover 2, come up, make the tackle.
He getting
But
violated.
Kellen Moore, your drop-off is so substantial. If Dak were to go down, and if you're going to be minus Zeke, it's over. It's over. I don't know what they're
Right.
waiting on, but hey, you better.
They
and I
waiting
get
for
it, Skip,
Bobby
'cause
Boucher,
when you
man.
get those guys, it's the only position that you try to load up at every other position to make sure. You look at the Patriots. Skip.
Trash.
Edelman, Amendola, they trade
Who
for
the
Cook,
brother throwing
they
the
got
ball
Malcolm
to,
Mitchell,
man?
They got Chris
Waldo?
Hogan. They signed this little free agent guy from some little 84. They just load up every position. Look at cornerback. Look at linebacker, D-line. But it's the one position. We can get by. The guy ain't going to get hurt. Well, ask Bill Polian what happens when Peyton Manning goes down. What happened to you? Ask Jerry Jones when your starting quarterback goes down in 2015, what happened to your season?
By the way, did you just disrespect the name of Austin Carr? Is that who you glossed over there?
Austin,
There's only one Austin
Mr.
Carr, we
Mr.
thought. Now there are two.
Mr. Cavalier.
Huh? Yeah, Mr. Cavalier. He now plays for New England.
Yeah, but
I
that's
don't know
what
how
I'm
he's
saying.
going to make the roster, but
But they'll probably keep him on practice squad. They're going to hold on to him now. They're not going to put him out there, Skip, so someone can sign him.
Yep.
But that's the thing, though, Skip, is that the quarterback, and I get it, you can't have a $5 million quarterback when you're paying a guy $20 million. But, Skip, you got to have a that you feel comfortable with. If something were to happen, he can keep this thing afloat until your starter comes back. There's no way.
So Saturday night, I sat back watching two teams
They
in
got
dire
commercials
need
on this
of
motherfucker?
Colin Kaepernick. My Cowboys and the Colts. The Colts, really? Scott Tolzien? Really? Is that? I don't know if Andrew Luck's going to make it back for the opener. It doesn't sound good, does it?
No.
So you're going to go forward with that? Really? Seriously?
Can Cap play D-line?
Okay, but still, somebody's got to play some quarterback.
Skip.
Or you got no shot.
But we've seen this from the Colts, is that all the years, because you never got Peyton never
This nigga
got
can't even
hurt,
be a backup.
so you really never knew. Or don't even worry about the backup quarterback, because Peyton took all the snaps. Peyton even took the kneel down, the victory formation. But all of a sudden, he gets injured, and now you got to have Dan Orlovsky, or you got to have some of these guys play, and you're like, y'all been fooling us. Y'all been looking good in practice or in scout team. You guys couldn't play dead in the horror movie. But that's what you get, Skip.
Damn.
So, to your final point about Jerry was the most outspoken against anthem protests. I'm with you on that. A lot of owners outspoken, but Jerry really, he went way out there on this one. And I'm not going to read the whole quote, but he was on Dallas radio talking about how much he applauds all the men and women who've given their lives for this country so that we can
Not
go out here and put
signing
on this
him.
show for you in the National Football League, and that he's disappointed
Kaepernick
that
signed
anybody
with
would take
Cowboys, it'd be a World
advantage
War
of that
X.
platform to protest. So he was out on, but that was in September of last year.
Correct.
Since then, as we've talked about the last week or so, I think Colin Kaepernick has gone down in history as an impactful spokesman on a racial cause that needed dire attention. And Jerry, above all, is P.T. Barnum. I mean, he is a showman himself.
Correct.
He is the ringmaster. And to me, Colin Kaepernick has become even more famous after playing starting quarterback for San Francisco than he was as the starting quarterback.
No question about that.
Yeah.
So I think Jerry would be intrigued enough by the star power of Colin Kaepernick. He might think this is good, because in the end, Jerry, I've criticized him before. Sometimes I think he's more interested in box office than wins and losses.
Yeah, because I think people are starting to see, and even Cap's staunchest critics are seeing what he was trying to draw attention to. We're seeing it more and more every day. Charlottesville kind of brought a lot of this into the forefront.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I think Cap is viewed a lot more favorably at this time this year than he was last year.
Yeah. And also the critics are starting to see that all these quarterbacks are not very good.
Not very
So
good.
all that
Well,
all that Colin Kaepernick isn't good, and that's why he's not signing thing is that's not.
Well, let's be honest. Kaepernick is probably not going to get signed to the Cowboys. Mostly it's a lot of, just what I seen and been looking at, is mostly a lot of white people making comments like that. I'm not even, people, oh, you're being racist. I can basically copy and paste every comment, and when I go to their Facebook page, they're white. White. You don't see too many black people saying, oh, he shouldn't get signed. He got the numbers to back it up. He's not garbage now. All these backup quarterbacks. You mean to tell me every backup quarterback is better than Kaepernick? Really? Kaepernick? Like, come on, man. Jay Cutler? The guy that only made the playoffs one time? But that's the world we live in, man. Subscribe, rate, comment. More videos coming out soon.